The topic we're going to be going over today is the 3 audiences that your resume needs to be good for. If it's not good for all 3 of these, you're never going to get through. So let's get started. You want to think of work life just like a nightclub. So when you get into work life, way on the end, now you're playing the game. Once you're inside the club, now you're playing the game. Outside the club, instead of 1 set of bouncers, you have 3 sets of bouncers. So the farthest out, we're going to start with the applicant tracking system. So the applicant tracking system is essentially the fancy filter that's going to be filtering your resume and is going to be looking at it against the job description for the particular role that you're applying for. You really should be making sure that your resume hits as many of those job description bullets as possible without lying, obviously. So you want to make sure that you are being very verbose in hitting all those things, because that's exactly what the applicant tracking system is doing. So let's just say that you had 1,000 people apply to a role. All right, so the ATS farthest out takes that 1,000 and gets it down to 100. And then you get to the next list, the next bouncer. The next bouncer is the recruiter. So now you have 100 people that the recruiter has to go figure out if they're going to be a good fit. And this could be doing online assessments. This could be doing phone interviews to see if you're going to be a good culture fit, to see if you are lying on your resume. You're basically taking the 1,000 to the 100. So the recruiter's the next step here. And then after you pass the recruiter, then you're going to get to the hiring manager or the team lead. So further in. So now we've taken 100 and now we're down to 10. And so what the recruiter's doing is being a bouncer for the hiring manager or the team lead's time so that they can stay working or helping their team facilitate work instead of having to do the recruiter's role, right? So this all makes sense. So when it comes to recruiters, the common thing that's overlooked is the fact that they might not be technical. So they're not necessarily technical, and you need to have some social intelligence and be able to know that, and to be able to not just inundate them with technical stuff they don't care about. So be an active listener, listening to their questions, and that will help you progress to the next step, which is talking to the hiring manager or the team lead further in. So we've gone from 100, now we're down to 10. The recruiter has basically been the bouncer for the hiring manager or the team lead. And once you get into the team lead or the hiring manager, now we're talking about actually figuring out if you're going to be a good fit for the particular team, as well as vetting your technical skills. So do you have the chops? Can you actually do the role that they're hiring you for or considering hiring you for? That's really what the team lead and the hiring manager are doing. And so now you can see all 3 of these audiences have to be thought of when you're writing your resume. Every single bullet. So you got to make sure you're hitting all those job description things. When it comes to trying to make sure the recruiter sees things, if you're, say, an intern, you want to make sure that you can show that you can take direction well. So they're not expecting an intern to come in and be a leader of the organization. That's not what they're looking for in an intern. And if you show that, oh, I'm the best leader ever on your resume, that doesn't really get the recruiter the information they need for an intern. So these are the types of thought lines you need to kind of go on when you're drafting your resume, or you're just going to get stuck and send it out way too many times. To continue with this nightclub analogy, you can see how it would be so much better if you could avoid maybe the first 2 bouncers. So what if you had a direct line to the hiring manager and you personally knew the hiring manager and they wanted to get you in for this potential role? So isn't that better now that you can be on the list for those first 2 bouncers and you just have to deal with the hiring manager? This is why going and doing cold outreach, growing your professional network, becoming known to more people, because it really matters who knows you. So it's not who you know, but it's who knows you. So knowing those decision makers and getting in their good graces and making sure that they see you, as well as not being needy in your communication, right? This isn't the, oh, please, sir, give me a job. No, the real message you should be getting across here is, how can I help you fill a spot? How can I help you is the message in all of your job search. That should be the message you want to get across in every communication you have with any potential employer or someone you want to network with. You want to be giving them things. You don't want to be take, because that's how you don't get anywhere. And I've been talking to some people recently that have sent out 1,000 job applications with the same resume. Seems a bit insane to me. So you should be tuning your resume for every job because you want to make sure that you can get past that applicant tracking system. And you're not going to be able to do that if you have a generic thing that doesn't call out all those job description bullet points. So you can see how this gets very nuanced really quickly. So job market right now, really, really tough. And I think it's only going to get worse with the rise of AI, all these tools. It's going to be very hard to vet technical people. And it's really scary if you're just getting out of school at this time. So you really need to care about this, or you're not going to have a very good time. The main takeaway for this video is that you really need to consider all three audiences anytime you are updating or touching your resume. Because if you only focus on that hiring manager, like a lot of technical people want to, you're never going to get to that hiring manager because you're going to get stuck on the outside because you didn't focus enough on those job description bullet points, the frameworks, whatever the thing is the job description's calling out. You're never going to even get to the recruiter. Times are tough, and you need to start paying better attention. What sort of things have you included on your resume that are not technical, that have maybe been for the ATS or the recruiter? I'd love a comment down below because these are things that are often overlooked. As you learn to pay better attention, you should keep going with this IQ playlist up here. Or if you're ready to be an emotional intelligence or EQ rock star, get going with that playlist right down here. Or keep doing what you're doing and getting the same results.